Good morning, everybody. This is Eng Suraj Singh, professional engineer. I'm just showing you this slide. Have a look on this, please. This show shall provide you with information about my career, brief information. Let us see one by one. Again, please. This is my title, which is giving professional engineer, civil engineering. I'm registered with IEI. If you go to the next slide, you will find my engineering degree time, my chartered engineer certificate time, my professional engineer's year, experience shown is 25 years, the specialization shown. If you go to the next slide, you'll find experience about Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Libya, Iraq, etc. And then about the project execution, supervisions and services of consultancy. If you go to the next slide, it will give you employers' names. For example, Alatia Contracting, Aljawar Energy, Eco, Midmet, Khalsa Contracting, DDA, etc. Next slide gives you project details, preparatory schools, army training camps, Qatar schools, beach villas, LNG tanks, record centers. Another one shall give you commercial buildings, ethylene cracking units, kindergarten schools, and many other types of projects in Libya and Iraq as well. Good with the writings. This gives you about my authority on writings for building practice, home plans, planning schematic projects, and spiritual numbers, which is my hobby. Also gives the URL for one of my websites, that is www.geocities.com/suraj_engineer. Then so the tendering projects which I have done in certain companies for EPC and others. Then it is for thanks a lot given to you, and this is a thanks a lot for you, and that's all in the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, this is my second video giving about my CV in brief for the purpose of my introduction to all of you. Nowadays, there's a new style where people require that they should see you at time CV introduction or just for the purpose of appraisals of each other. It's like peer introduction. As I showed to you in the slide, I passed my civil engineering degree from Institution of Engineers India in 1980, and before that I passed civil engineering diploma in 1974 from Kashmiri Polytechnics under the Board of Technical Education, Delhi. I am 54 years old now. I worked for Delhi Development Authority for 6 years in the beginning of my career in India, Bharat. I was responsible for various types of supervision works for certain apartments in the Ashok Vihar area, Wazirpur area, certain shopping centers, and certain urbanized villages, as well as at that time it was emergency in India and we had to resettle certain colonies into other parts of Delhi, like Khichadipur, Kalyanpuri, etc. I was not on very high profile at that time because at the beginning of an engineer's career, one has either to be junior engineer or assistant engineer. I worked there in Delhi Development Authority from 75 onwards to 1981 mid. Before that, I worked on a very junior level position in Municipal Corporation of Delhi for about 6 months after passing my diploma. Then from this period of working in Delhi Development Authority, I started my additional qualification educational studies, that is AMIE, known popularly, but it is Section A and Section B, examination of the Institution of Engineers India, that I qualified in 1980. After getting this qualification in 1980, I had to go to another career. I had to go to overseas jobs in those days, and I entered Iraq through Ansal's Properties and worked there for their Grand Silos projects and ancillary buildings. Then I moved to Eurotech and Associates high-rise project in Iraq, Baghdad, Darul Thawra printing complex. I worked there for about a year, and then I moved to Libya, where I had to work with a joint venture company known as Electrical Construction Company, and in collaboration with Government of India. I worked there as a project engineer for Gardabia Air Base standby diesel power station, as well as I worked for certain substations in Sirte and Benghazi town. I worked on certain planning projects as well in the head office of Tripoli, head office of Eco Tripoli. I worked there for 2 years and I had to move out because there were problems in those days in Iraq as well as in Libya that one could not send his money home. You can say repatriation was not allowed more than certain fixed amount, and my salary was not that high, and I had to spend money for nothing. It's 50% I could send only to my home country, India. After that, it was better for me to go to some other country, and I searched the jobs and got a job in Doha, Qatar. I entered Doha, Qatar in 1985 and worked for Alatia Contracting and Trading, a very big construction company. I worked in that company for about 4 years on the projects of schools landscape, and army training camp. It was a very good experience. I worked as in the capacity site agent, contractor site agent. Means you can say practically it's the project manager on site, and successfully I worked there with the British consultants. For example, Qatar Consultants Group and Rice Perry Partners and many other consultants. I also assisted the head office in estimation, tendering, etc. And after that, I had certain family problems, certain matrimonial problems. I had to return back to India in 1989. And from 1989 to 1995, I had to stay in India due to certain personal problems. And I worked there as a consultancy. I was a consultant for many architects in Delhi, particularly for buildings projects. I issued to them certain structural engineering designs and supervised the jobs as well. And also I started writing certain civil engineering practice books based on my personal experience, and it was published by CBS. Then also worked on spiritual numbers, applied spiritual number 09, as well as I also worked on a town planning scheme which was meant for NCR Delhi. It was a schematic project, and we had an eye on NCR from Prithla to Palwal, but due to many restrictions by the promoter who did not cooperate in arranging money, the project got shelved. It was a project for about construction or promotion of 100,000 flats, multi-story flats, and it was to be named as a district center, but it was unsuccessful, and all the drawings are still with me, but I could not make any use of those drawings. After that, after clearance of the court case, I had to go back to UAE for additional assignment with Al Jaber Energy Services. I joined them in 1999, and I was posted on ethylene cracking unit, 600 kTA. It was a very interesting project with big industrial projects of oil onshore, located in Ruwais, 350 kilometers from Abu Dhabi. I was there as project office engineer, and I handled many activities of office engineering, site engineering. At the beginning, I was on the site as a project engineer, but I was shifted to office, keeping in view my caliber of writing, understanding, shop drawings preparation, and all kinds of office engineering works as an expertise. I worked there for the whole project as a project office engineer for 3 years, very successfully. I worked on method statements, site technical queries, and collaboration with quality assurance, material controls, material submissions, and expert assistance to all the project engineers, reporting to the project manager. After that, I worked on this project up to the handover. We will say all closing records were prepared by me, and I handed over that time. After I was posted on another project and of water pipeline, but I said this is not my expertise. After that, I just came back to India and did certain Excel worksheet software application, and I prepared one software RCC PDS 2003, which is meant for the designs of RCC buildings, calculations of frame moments, and it was based on Karin's rotation contribution method, which has not been done so far. it is working successfully for me, and I use this method. I worked on this method. Many people have been using this method. This is available on www.geocities.com.suraj_engineer and also on geocities.com/RCC buildings. Many people have used this access to the site thousands times, and I don't know whether people have been happy because there have been no comments so far. But I have been using this software. I used this many times on many projects, and I worked a lot on this. Still, it's available on the website. You can refer to the website and find the contents are interesting to you. I have still been working on this. I'll keep working on that. Now, after that, I was also in Khalsa Contracting. This was a Indian company, and I was chief engineer there. I handled 5 commercial buildings and 1 kindergarten schools in the capacity to manage. And then I was also I was taken back in Algebra Energy as a senior project engineer for the estimation section, where I worked for 3 years, and I helped them in many big tenders up to a tender cost of $1.2 in billions, and they were very happy with me, and they had the plan to promote me to the position of engineering manager, but due to certain restrictions and my remunerations requirement, I said no, sorry, thank you, and I came back from there. Now, meanwhile, I should like to narrate to certain projects. For example, in Doha, I was responsible for schools, and I did all kinds of management works on that. A site agent has to do, project engineer has to do, from taking over site and submissions of all materials, drawings, shop drawings, everything, and handing over as well. Dealing with engineering consultants, dealing with all concerns of government departments, holding meetings and participating in the meetings. Similarly, I was responsible for one QP projects in in UAE, Abu Dhabi, or site, where I was also responsible standalone for the whole project, and I contributed my expertise to that company, Aluda Engineering. Now, all these experiences have accumulated within me, and I consider myself as that I can manage all types of engineering works, from, you can say, normal designs, normal executions, detailed executions, heavy projects, building projects, RCC projects particularly, technical management, technical writings, shop drawings preparations, working drawing preparations, detailed design preparation, instructions to sites, dealing with consultants, dealing with public, dealing with authorities, dealing with labor of all kinds, all races, all nationalities, dealing with staff, dealing with administration of the company, dealing with administration of others. And this has brought into me a big confidence, a high degree of confidence to manage any kind of project, particularly buildings, oil projects. I have a feeling that oil projects onshore are too easy in comparison to RCC buildings projects, where hundreds and thousands of drawings specifications are available. Those specs are available there also on oil, but those specs and drawings are not that complicated as building drawings. I had to work a lot through hours and days to find out how to execute the job without any mistake. But on those projects in oil, I didn't find that kind of problem, because there was no fixed designs, and designs used to keep on changing from time to time, and sometimes I felt that the concrete was to be laid and there were certain changes in the designs. My experience has been very broad and exhaustive, and I am also a writer, which has given me confidence. I have written a book of building practice in civil engineering. It has good selling. Similarly, I have written another book on home plans, which could not be published due to certain reasons. I did town planning job, which also includes a hard work, and that was, you can say, I had to draw myself in those because I was not used to computers, but now that can be done through computer. I think I have a collaborative experience, and I can cooperate with the people, and I can work in the team as well as I can lead a good team. I can be a director. I can be a general manager. I can be a project director. I can be a project manager, a senior project manager. I think I can do whatever efficient. It's a question of concept. I have a concept. I can do. I can find the problem. I can solve the problem. That's the most requirement of the profession. I understand the application. I understand the technicalities. I understand the system. I understand the engineering technology. I know what is economy, how to apply with economical angles, and how to save the money so that the quality cannot be compromised, because quality is very important. It's all, and I think I'm a good engineer. Having weight, I can tackle with many problems, almost all, under and within my specialty only. I am a buildings engineer. I am an oil engineer onshore in execution. I have full confidence in my capacity. Any company that intends to utilize my services shall be benefited from multifaceted experience. This is all I can say based on my experience. And I think it's not a question of getting a job. The question is my maturity, my experience should be utilized. That is very important. Anyway, I am busy on many things nowadays. I am also a columnist on intoday.com, and people have been reading my columns. It's very nice. That is politics, that is science, that is engineering, which I have been distributing. I have also written many engineering columns. I have also written many political columns. I have written many social columns and many more columns. It's all that in the profession. It's a multitude of profession. Professional engineering requires all that. One should be multidimensional, multidirectional. Alone engineering design is not sufficient. One should be expert in the field of profession. That's what I have been advancing. I have advanced a lot, more than 25 years, and I hope I shall maintain my efficiency until I work in the profession. That is my CV. I hope you will like this CV, and I hope you will give me an opportunity to serve you for your benefits and for my professional advancement. Thank you very much, gentlemen. This is Suraj Singh. Have a nice day. Thanks a lot again. Bye.